Welcome to Philosophy of Technology. Do we control technology or does technology control us? This is another of my philosophical challenging ideas that I think everyone should know. To start, imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the internet has disappeared. No smartphones, no social media, no GPS, no online banking, no artificial intelligence, no email, no digital communication. How long would it take before modern society begins to start struggling? Will it take hours? Will it take days? Will it take weeks, months, or a year? Now consider something even stranger. Most of these technologies did not exist just a generation ago. In fact, most of these technologies did not exist by the time I was born. Yet today, millions of people can barely imagine life without them. And that raises one of the deepest questions of philosophy. Do human beings control technology, or does technology slowly shape human beings? And this question is really important. I want you to tuck it somewhere in your mind. Most people think technology is simply tools. It's machines, it's computers, it's phones, it's AI. But philosophy asks a deeper question. What happens to human beings when they create tools powerful enough to transform how they think, work, communicate, and even understand reality? The philosophy of technology studies the relationship between technology and human existence. We don't just study merely what technology does, but we're interested what technology does to us as human beings. When people hear the word technology, they often think of smartphones or AI. But technology is much older and much wider. Technology is a way of solving problems. In that sense, a business is a technology. A hotel on the roadside is just a technology. So we have had much older technology. The wheel is or was a technology. Agriculture was a technology. Writing was a technology. Printing press was a technology. Electricity was a technology. In fact, civilization itself is built on technology. When you want to see a society that has really been civilized or has grown in its civilization, you look at what kind of technologies they have been able to create, invent, and innovate. Human beings survive not because we are the strongest species. We survive because we create tools. And so tools determine the exercise of our intelligence. If you want to know an intelligent society, you have to look at what kind of technology they have. In that way, I'm making some judgment on our society. Most people assume technology changes what we do, but often technology changes who we become as human beings. Consider writing. Before writing existed, knowledge depended heavily on memory. Stories were preserved through oral traditions. Then writing appeared. Suddenly, information could survive generations. Human thought itself changed because we're building on the previous much more effectively. The printing press transformed religion, education, politics, and science. We could be able to print documents and personal information more accurately. The internet transformed communication. Artificial intelligence may transform even thinking itself. Right now, a lot of us, we are relying on artificial intelligence to do even the most menial work. Artificial intelligence is writing our email, is doing our examination, it's researching for us much faster. It's taking over our thinking. Technology does not merely solve problems, it actually changes human possibilities. One of the most influential philosophers of technology was Martin Heidegger. He argued that technology is not simply a collection of tools, it's the way of seeing the world. Modern technology encourages us to view everything as a resource to be optimized. Forests, in this view of Martin Heidegger, forest becomes timber, rivers become source of energy, animals become production units, and even human beings become data points, if you can think of our time of algorithm in data science. For Heidegger, the danger was not that of technology itself. The danger was forgetting that reality is more than what can be measured, controlled, and exploited. Technology promises freedom. It promises cars that increase mobility, phones that increase communication, machines that reduce labor, artificial intelligence that increases productivity. Yet, every new technology creates some new dependencies. The smartphone connects you to the world, but it also makes you to have low concentration. Social media connects you to millions of people, but it can also amplify anxiety, tribalism, misinformation. Technology often solves a problem and then creates another. And that's something that Martin Heidegger wants us to be fully aware of. Today, one of the biggest philosophical questions concerns artificial intelligence. If a machine can write articles, can create art, can diagnose disease, drives vehicle, and even answers some of the toughest questions, then what remains uniquely human? What is it that makes us more unique? For centuries, intelligence was considered humanity's defining characteristic. Now machine is increasingly outperforming us intellectually. So philosophy asks, what exactly then makes us humans human? Technology also creates some moral questions. So for example, should government use technology for facial recognition? Should artificial intelligence be used in military decisions? Should we allow genetic engineering to create future generations? What's wrong with us having designer babies who are more intelligent, more beautiful, more athletic, and with nothing of the human weakness like the one we have? Should algorithms determine who receives loans, jobs, and even opportunities? Should algorithm help in doing interviews? Notice something important. Technology tells us what we can do, but it's ethics that asks what we should do. The two questions are not the same, and they should be answered differently. Many people think technology is neutral, but technology shapes behavior. A road influences movement. When there's a new road in the village, it will change how people are moving around, how commodities and services reach people. Social media influences attention. You may have connection to people in Australia, in Mauritius, and feel that you have many friends when you don't have as many friends. Algorithm influences how information flows. Artificial intelligence influences decision making. In this sense, technology quietly structures human choices, sometimes in a ways that we barely notice. And this leads to perhaps the deepest question of all. Every major technology changes the way human beings experience reality. Writing changed memory, printing changed knowledge, television changed politics, internet changed communication. Artificial intelligence may change thinking itself. If technology keeps changing how we think, how do we ensure we remain the authors of our future rather than its product? The philosophy of technology reminds us that tools are never merely tools. They shape culture, they shape institutions, they shape relationships, they shape economies, and even they shape our human identity. The story of technology is ultimately the story of humanity transforming its environment and then being transformed by the same technology in return. The most important question on technology is not whether technology will change the world. It has already changed the world. The real question is, what kind of human beings will we become because of this technology? I hope you have enjoyed another of my videos on philosophical challenging ideas that I think everyone should know.